Hey guys, my name is SheepyOnline and I'm back with another web design tutorial. We're going to be going over some of the basics of HTML and we're basically going to create a website like this. Now you can see this isn't a very colorful or dynamic website, but it illustrates some of the main functions of HTML. And it's just these core basic functions that we're going to be going over in today's video. These core basic functions, they're essential if you're going to make any sort of website at all, so it's probably important that you watch this video. Now some of the things that I'm going to cover are paragraphs, note-taking in HTML, how you can denote a document as an HTML5 file, how you can change the title of your web page, which appears up here, adding links which connect users to different web pages, paragraphs, superscripts and subscripts, which are important for, say, if you can use math or some other features. Tables I'll go over and describe how they work, and the last and one of the most important things, images, which make your website appear a lot more attractive and vivid. So I'm going to exit out of this for now, and I'm going to be opening up a new Notepad++ file. If you didn't watch my last video, you might want to check it out. Notepad++ is this awesome program for writing code. But anyway, to start off, we are going to be making an HTML5 file. So to start that, we need to, basically how it works is your browser will see the file, and to decide that it's an HTML5 file, we need to write this first bracket, then an exclamation point, doc type HTML, just like that, and that's it. It's real simple. That's the only thing you have to do, and now your browser knows that it's dealing with an HTML5 document. Now, to actually use the HTML, we need some brackets to enclose all of the HTML that we're going to write. So to start off, we're going to put bracket HTML bracket, just like that, and it's really easy. I'll enter down a couple times and do another one. This time we're going to put a slash before the HTML, and that'll be the closing tag. So anything in between these two tags is going to be our HTML code, and your browser will read it as HTML code and change it from just letters and characters to living, breathing elements on your web page. So now that we have that done, enter down a couple more times. We go back to the top. The first thing that I want to show you guys how to do is to write HTML notes. Now these notes are not going to show up on your web page, so when you view this later, you're not going to see what's there. But if you're looking at the file, you will be able to see it. So it's helpful if you're writing something and you need to look back at it later and maybe you weren't sure what you're doing. If you take notes, you can detail it step by step what you're doing, so they can be very helpful. So to write a note, we're going to use our first bracket, then we have an exclamation point, and then 2 hyphens. And that starts it, and then anything you write after that is going to be part of your notes. So we can write something like, this is a note, our browser will not display it. And then to end it, we just do hyphen hyphen, closing tag, and that's it. Now if we save this, which you can just click save, and we're going to go to HTML hypertext markup language file. I'll just call it index. Save that, and now if I go back to my desktop and I open up this file, you can see there's nothing there because that note we wrote isn't going to appear. Now if we take away these note tags, I'll just show you, and then we save it and come back here, refresh this. Now this text appears, but because we had those note tags, it doesn't. So I'll put those back. Oops. There we go, just to illustrate how notes work. Now the next thing that I'm going to show you how to do is up here. Right now we're just saying the file location, but we can change that to whatever text we want. So when you're visiting a web page like Google, you can see up top it says Google. So to change this, all we have to do is, much like these HTML tags that we made, we're going to make 2 more. The first one is going to be head. The second one will be head, but with a slash in front of the beginning. And to set the title, which again is this text right up here, we just need to type title with the brackets around, and then whatever we write here, so we can type SheepyOnline is awesome. Oops. And then we do slash title, and now all of a sudden we save this and refresh it, our text is gone because the note, we changed it back to a note. But up here now it says SheepyOnline is awesome instead of just this file location. So that's how that works, and you can write whatever you want, really. Now the next thing that I want to show you guys is paragraph tags. But before we do that, we're going to set up the body of our page. And just like this was the head, we'll also have a body. This head is stuff that's not necessarily going to appear on your web page here, but more up here. So if we go back, create a new tag, call it body, then we'll go down and make another one just underneath our HTML with a slash body. And now in between these tags, we're going to write paragraphs of text. So to write a paragraph of text, we do bracket P bracket, and then whatever we write in here, this is our paragraph. And it doesn't have to be a long, like, 6-sentence paragraph, but then you just do slash P, and then when you save it, what it's going to do is add margins around your paragraph. You see where before our text was just right up here, now it's down, it's moved down a little bit because of the margins it adds, and it keeps your text from all bunching up on one line. So now we can, or the next thing that I'm going to move on to now that we've done paragraphs is, and I'm going to be using paragraphs the whole time that I'm doing this, but the next thing would be links. So I'll enter down, this is just to make it easier to look at, and to do a link, instead of P, we have bracket A, and then instead of closing it right away, we've got to specify where this link is going to. So what we can do is we type href, which is our first parameter, and we do equal sign, parenthesis, and this is, now we're going to type in the link that we want this to go to. So if we type www.google.com, quotation mark, bracket, and now we can write the link text, which you actually have to click to go to google.com. So you can write click to go to Google, if I can spell, and then we just do slash A tag. So it's all pretty simple. It's all very similar. Once you get familiar with one bit of it, you'll get familiar with all of it. See, now we have our paragraph, and now it says click to go to Google, so we click this, and let me add, I forgot to add the http:// now if we save it and refresh, it should take us to Google. Here we go, and we're at Google. We can go back. So anyway, that's basically how that works. And now the next thing that I'd like to show you, now that we've got links down, will be superscript and subscripts. Now these are very similar to the paragraph tags. I'll write it as an example. When you're using superscripts, you use the, to do a superscript, we do bracket sup bracket, and then now anything we type here will be in superscript. So we type superscript, and then we do bracket slash sup, and that's basically the same as the subscript, except for that we'll use sub instead of sup. So when you're using superscripts, you use the superscript tag. When doing subscripts, you use the, and now we'll do bracket sub bracket subscript, and then slash sub, and then to finish it, or we'll tag period, and then to finish it we'll have our slash paragraph tag to match up with this one. So we can save that now. If you refresh this, now it says when you're using the superscripts, you use the superscript tag, and you can see now it's up here above the normal text, and we use subscripts, use the subscript tag. And there should be an example in the description with a more detailed explanation of all these things that I'm doing. I'm just showing you an example here now in this video. But if you look at the example file that is in the description, it's free to download, free to mess with however you want. You'll see that the advantages that the superscript and subscript tags have for example, math is the example that I use if you're changing a log function to an exponent or vice versa. So now that we've done that, we're going to move on to the next important feature, which is tables. Now to do tables, we just have to, we're going to start off, tables are a little bit more complex. We're going to start off with tags like any other thing. We're going to have slash or bracket table, then end it will have slash table. Now, here we're going to have to set up columns and rows, because if you've seen a table before, it's made up of columns and rows. So to start off, we have to start off with a column, or a row, I'm sorry. So our first row is going to be bracket TR, which stands for table row. And so now we have to do a table column. Table column is TD. Don't ask me why it's D and not C. That's just the way it is. So now this is going to be our first cell. So we'll type cell 1. And then we have to do, to end the row or the column, we do /TD. Now to do another column, we do TD again. It's pretty simple. So this will be our cell 2. Then we do /TD. And then I'll do up to cell 3. Then /TD. And now to end this row, we do bracket /TR. Now to do a second row, we do TR again. Then we have our first row, which is now cell 4. And then the same thing that we did before until we have 6 cells. And then that table row. And it doesn't matter how many rows or table columns that you have. Your web browser will figure all that out for you. I saved it, now you can refresh, and you can see that we have sort of a table here. It's easier to see when you highlight it. To add a border, all we have to do is under table, we're going to set a parameter border equals quotation mark 1. And now this border will be a lot more visible. So you can refresh, now you can see the cell here, 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 and the cell here. And you can use whatever kind of data you want to display in your table. In the downloadable example that's in the description that I mentioned earlier, I did something along the lines of school scores. It has 5 days of the week and the average test scores on each day, and the attendance on each day, and attentions on each day. It's just numbers and figures I made up, but it demonstrates the kinds of things that you can do with tables. And now, the last important feature that I'm going to go over is images. Now, this is probably one of the most important ones, and it's really simple, actually. All we have to do is bracket image, but instead of writing out image like that, we just have image. And then now, we have to specify where our image is coming from. It's a lot like the link that we did up here, where we had to specify to Google. Now we should have to specify where this image is coming from. But instead of href, we have source, src. That's going to equal quotation mark, and then here we just type in the link to our image. So we can go in and grab one off the internet really quick. My username is SheepyOnline, so I like sheep. So we just go to images. Down here, here's a nice one, and we can just go copy image location. Or if you're on a different browser, you can go to the full-size image, and then up here you can grab this link. Then we need to go back, paste it, and now we'll just add our quotation mark, and then a bracket. And this tag is different than the other ones. It doesn't need, there's no image tag like that. You just end it with this one, and you're done. So basically, that's all you have to do. We can save this now, and we can go back to our file, like some of that, and we'll just refresh. And all of a sudden, we've got the sheep guy sitting here. So basically, that's how you can add all of these things to your website. Using this information, you can make a crude website. It wouldn't be that hard. But as I said before, I'm going to be going more in depth in later tutorials. You can make websites more like this whenever it loads, which obviously are a bit more complex than what I just went over here. But basically, this is the basics of HTML, so I hope you guys liked it. I hope it was helpful. If it was, please give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you have any questions or anything else you want to learn about specifically. And, if you found it helpful, please subscribe so you make sure to check out all the new videos that I post whenever I post them. So, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. It's been fun. Take it easy, guys.